Good day, everyone. I'm going to thank you for taking time out of your day to join us as we go over Aspida's brand new income fixed indexed annuity. My name is Tim Watts. I'm an annuity sales director here at IAMS. I'm joined today by Ethan Sparks and Jared Anderson from Market Synergy Group. We are excited to introduce this fantastic new annuity to everybody on the group. Before I get to that, I want to give you a brief update on why agents love working with us over here at IAMS. We will have questions at the end of the webinar. So if you do have anything that comes up, please put that in the question file. And then there's going to be a couple polls. We'd love to get your engagement on those polls as we go through here too. First thing I did want to highlight as we get this thing started is our phone number, 800-255-5055. We do answer that with a live person, so no dial by name directories or worrying about if a voicemail is going to get answered. We start that best-in-class customer service off with a live person on the phone. Another great aspect of working with us over here at IAMS is our producer builders, and these are for those of you who are new to IAMS. These bonuses are available based on your production level in your first 6 months of contracting with us. As you can see, there's some phenomenal levels that start as low as $100,000. We've got incredible bonuses, building tools, personal perks, and even cash rewards if that's what you wanted to take. If you'd like to know where you're at on your new producer bonus, definitely give one of the annuity sales directors a call and we can talk to you about that. We've got several agents that actually hit that $1 million mark in the first 6 months and then utilize the marketing and can get 3 free seminars with that $1 million production. So very good plan over there. Moving on to another business builder program, we've got our referred producer program. We do have some advisors on with us today that have already taken advantage of this program. Our business on the wholesale side of the industry is similar to yours in the field, that one of the best leads we could ever get is a referral from one of our valued producers. When you do have a referral sign up and contract with us, we'll cut you a check for $50. Where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you'll receive an override on that business. Our ownership team, Steve Murray, Charles Hearing, and Curtis Hawk sign checks for thousands of dollars every quarter. With that being said, if you could think of anyone that could benefit from doing business with our team, please type their information in the questions box, or you can email me at timw@iamsinc.com with that information, and I will reach out to them. Below that is our marketing reimbursement program, which is actually one of our most popular programs that we offer here at IAMS. For every $100,000 in FIA premium, you're going to get $100 into a marketing reimbursement account. Why this is so popular and lucrative for our advisors is we truly do consider this to be your money. So we don't cap your account, mandate where you spend the funds, or tell you when you have to cash in that account. It's your marketing reimbursement dollars. We do recommend vendors that we partner with and leverage reduced rates, but you can, it doesn't have to be something that we have here in-house. We also have our in-house creative team that can do marketing projects for you as well, and you can utilize those marketing reimbursement dollars for that. Back office support is another way that we add value to you and your business. When you contract with us over here at IAMS, submit that business through our website. My back office goes to work for you. This is the core of how IAMS and Charles Hearing founded us over 37 years ago. We want to help the independent advisor work smarter, not harder. We are going to do that with great business building tools and resources. Of course, advanced case design assistance for those life and annuity quotes is something that we can do for you. Typically, we'll get those illustrations kicked back within about 2 hours. We have been working a ton of business right now, so sometimes that gets extended a little bit. If you have a meeting coming up right away, definitely let us know when you get that, because we can get a few of those sooner if needed. Submission to commission support is handled by our new business team. We've got Mackenzie on the annuity side and Michelle on the live side. They have fantastic teams who work tirelessly to help you get commissioned quicker. They scrub your application, submit them on your behalf, and then do the administrative tracking and get you updates on the case as they come in. We do this to ensure that you get commissioned as quickly as possible. This is a service that we provide to our valued producers and how we help you grow your business by keeping you in front of clients. while our team handles the back office support for you. Our website is a great tool for our producers to use and another reason to work with us over here at IAMS. Once you're contracted, you'll have full access to everything that you see on this slide and much more. If you haven't registered for the website, it's very simple to do. When we get done with this call, go ahead and hop onto IAMSinc.com and get registered. There's a ton of great resources, including illustration tools, online forums, product grids, product news, and industry updates. EAPS is where the industry is headed to. Aspida's EAP system, I'm sure Jared and Ethan might talk about this, but it is very streamlined and helps them process business very effectively. So over here at IAMS, we are definitely partnering with those EAP providers. Make sure you ask your sales director before you submit a paper app if you can earn more money by doing an EAP, as several carriers are actually offering that to encourage agents to give that a shot. Utilizing our Firelight platform accelerates the application process substantially. The EAP platforms help you submit business in good order the first time. It also reduces the processing time of your business and helps you get paid quicker. As I mentioned previously, this is a single sign-on at IAMSinc.com, as we've integrated our business with the EAPs so you can have the most effective and efficient way to submit that business. We do have a full in-house creative team that can help you with your practice. We can help create those agency logos, and agency solutions are something that we're very good at. If you haven't created a fully customized brand for you and your agency, the team would love to help. This is going to assist you with name recognition, which grows your natural market organically. We can get your logo designed and imposed on business cards, brochures, and stationery. Lastly, what most agents are looking for and making sure that they have a presence is digital marketing solutions. We can help you with websites, social media marketing, email marketing, and much more. The internet and social media sites are where the overwhelming majority of prospects go to for information. Making sure that you're accessible and represented in those marketing lanes is beneficial to growing your business. Reach out to myself or one of our sales directors once this webinar concludes to talk to them about how IAMS Creative Team can help you and your agency. We founded IAMS Wealth over 5 years ago. What we've done is grow this division on IAMS very organically. We've helped advisors become IARs and pass the Series 65 at a very successful clip. Once we have you registered, we'll bring great value to your practice with an incredibly competitive fee structure for both you and your clientele. We have great technology and investment platform. This has been a major growth sector for our business, and assets under management could be a major growth sector for your business as well. We hosted 5 annuity and life academies in 2023. We're going to have a digital one coming up here at the start of 2024. And then we will be getting into our in-person academies. These academies are excellent opportunities for top producing agents to network with other agents across the nation. We also bring in presenters to go over those industry leading products as well as marketing strategies. And then we go over advanced product design, case design, some utilizing strategies to make sure that you're helping your customers, your clients as much as possible, such as doing Roth conversion. So ton of great information. This isn't like a beginner's course for agents. This is designed for those folks that are looking to utilize marketing and really grow their businesses. So if you would like some more information about that, definitely let us know when we reach out and talk to you about this webinar. Lastly, we've got our Seaside Sanctuary. We are closing on the qualifications for this. That ends here on 12/31/2023. If you'd like to know where you're at with that current qualification, give one of the sales directors a call and we can help you out with that. With this one coming to an end, we also have another trip qualification that just opened up, Wentworth by the Sea. So you've still got well over a half a year to meet that qualification. So give us a call. Those top producer trips are something that our agents that we work with really enjoy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pause here real quick and make Jared, the presenter, so he can talk to you about Aspida's fantastic income product. So while he's getting that all going, I did have our first poll that I wanted to get out. And that is, will you meet your 2023 revenue goal in life insurance and annuities? So I'm going to go ahead and launch that poll here real quick. Love to get some participation from the group. We'll keep this open here for about another 10 or 15 seconds.
Hey, Tim, I think I shared my screen, so you might have to take back controls real quick for that.
Looks like people are voting, so I think
perfect.
they're able to see it on their side.
Excellent.
But thank you for that. All right, everybody, I appreciate the participation there. Jared, I think it is back to just your screen. Take it away, sir.
Sounds good. Can you see everything okay?
Yep, we're good to go.
Awesome. Well, again, thanks, Tim. Jared Anderson, Chief Sales Officer for Market Synergy Group. As Tim mentioned, we have Ethan Sparks on the line as well, who is a sales director working directly with the IAMS organization. Market Synergy Group, just a quick commercial for you all. We are a product development distribution company that works with several carriers across the independent marketing organization space. The way that we work is we work with a handful of IMOs, obviously IAMS being one of them, and do product development for 4 different carriers. And what we're going to talk to you guys about today is Aspida and the success that we've had throughout all of 2023, and certainly what we're looking forward to in 2024 as well. As Tim mentioned, we just recently launched our income product. November 6th, I believe, was our launch date. So we're about a week and a half in and have already seen a substantial amount of business come into the door. Just to give you a little bit of a background, ironically, it was actually 1 year from the time in which we launched our initial FIA for accumulation with Aspida to the date. And for those of you who are on our email distribution list, you might have seen we were lucky enough to surpass $1 billion in sales just under a year's time frame. In addition to that, another $500 million or so in MIGAs. So Aspida has been a fantastic opportunity for us and for IAMS as an organization. The way that they do business is uniquely different than the rest of the competition out there. And that's really how they separate themselves. I mean, we understand that you have to have great product, but the service platform is incredibly important as well. So I just want to share some of their third quarter highlights with you from a service standpoint. Tim mentioned earlier that, you know, kind of the way of the industry is going to this EAP process, oftentimes Firelight. Aspida, you know, thinking outside the box, came up with their own proprietary EAP solution for several different reasons. First and foremost, the ability to make changes, you know, immediately, so to speak, as opposed to going through the process of a Firelight. And not to say anything against Firelight, they just chose to go this route. You know, if you as an advisor have an issue that comes up, they have the ability, or we see an issue coming up commonly, they have the ability to make those changes essentially overnight, making it what I would argue to be the most efficient EAP process in our entire industry. You can see the top highlight there. The fastest EAP was issued in 29 seconds. They've answered over 38,000 calls, and your hold time is on average 38 seconds. So again, incredibly efficient is what they've strived for, and they've been incredibly successful with that over the last 12 to 15 months since we first launched this product. 72% of the EAPs are submitted in good order. 92% of those are issued within 24 hours. I'll tell you a quick story, one of my favorites, actually an IAMS agent who is a friend of mine that's on a lot of their panels, had called when we first launched. The way that this process works, you can actually get contracted with Aspida and same day write an application and watch it issue. Okay, so I'll walk through that again. Contracted same day, write an application, go through that process, watch it issue. This situation was a cash with app MIGA, and essentially what happens with their proprietary system is you sit down with your client, you go through the EAP process. Once you complete that, you hit submit. Okay, they give you the ability to draw the funds from the account immediately, and once you hit submit, a policy is emailed to you as the advisor as well as the client. The policy issues immediately. You as the advisor are paid by the next morning. In addition to that, they're working this year on something that they're referring to as instant commission, just again to make the process so much easier. Essentially what that means is there's possibilities that if we can get this completed in 2024, you as the advisor will be paid your commission before your client leaves your office. Okay, so that's just crazy statistics that they're using. And quite frankly, it's somewhere that we should have been a long time ago. If you think about the rest of the financial services world, everything is done online and technology is key. This is the most advanced technology company issuing insurance products that I've seen in the 25 years that I've been in this business. So very excited about that. Ease of doing business is so important to you as you continue to grow yours. We recognize that and wanted to put a lot of time, effort, energy, and money into that. So briefly, before we get into the income, I want to talk to you about our $1.5 billion first year and the products that we did in order to get there, the Synergy Choice Max, as well as the bonus and the MIGA, and just share the current rates with you. On the screen, you'll see what I would refer to as our most popular product, the 3-year MIGA on the multi-year guaranteed annuity side, currently paying 5.9% if we focus on the right side for cases over $100,000. The 5-year is at 6%. That puts us in the top echelon of all insurance companies. I think we're leading the 3-year space and maybe second in the 5-year space. So again, in current interest rate environment, what we have found is people aren't not necessarily ready to make a decision right now because they don't know where rates are going, but rates are really high, especially compared to what they were 2 or 3 years ago. So we're seeing a ton of business go into the MIGAs, in addition to our shorter term FIA, which we'll talk about here in a second. So again, great rates on the 3 and 5 year where we're seeing most of the business. Quite frankly, I like the 2-year if we're looking at 5.2% over 2 years, allowing that client the ability to kind of set on some cash, if you will, and make a decision at a later date, try and determine where interest rates are going or what's going to happen in market conditions, you know, potentially get through an election and see what happens after that. We have a lot of great solutions on the MIGA side. Here's a list of our rates for our Synergy Choice Max, which has a 5-year as well as a 10-year option. What I like to focus on is the S&P 500 and the fixed rates for a couple different reasons, okay? This gives you a great comparison on where they're at in comparison to the rest of the marketplace. So a 550 fixed account on a 5-year product, as well as a 1225 S&P cap, is incredibly competitive. I think maybe at the top of the list for the 5-year products. So as I mentioned before, it's a situation where we're seeing a ton of business go into that 5-year product due to clients wanting to have a short-term alternative until we see economic conditions kind of settle down and see where we're going to be for the future. Similar types of rates on the 10-year product. Maybe they're comfortable locking it up because they think interest rates are going to go down in the next 5 years. I don't know. It's just different options that make it available for you as the advisor and the client. In addition, we have 2 great vol control strategies that we added purposely to kind of work in conjunction with each other. The Goldman Sachs Grand Prix is a lower volatility target, meaning that there is a higher focus on the fixed income portion, whereas the Citi ARIA index is a 20% volatility target, essentially meaning that it's a 100% equity index. So you have different options there, and that is by design to kind of yin and yang and give you the ability to work in different economic environments, in addition to an incredible S&P cap as well as a fixed account. We also have a 10-year bonus product with a 10% premium bonus that has a 9% S&P cap and a 4.1% fixed account. I know oftentimes advisors will sit down and look at this product and say, okay, I'm going to put my client in the fixed account for the first year. Adding that 10% premium bonus, I know that we're going to make around 14.5% in year 1. Starting in year 2, we'll reconsider and reallocate into one of the crediting strategies to hopefully get them into a position to make some more. But if you can talk to a client about 14+% in year 1, it's a really easy conversation. So we're really excited about where we stand from a competitive standpoint with that product as well. Okay, now getting into the Synergy Choice Income, which is what we came to the call for. As Tim mentioned and I mentioned earlier, this launched on November 6th. We were incredibly excited about adding this product to our portfolio with Aspida and think that we're in a great position to really capture some of that business. As mentioned, in my 20+ years in this business, we've seen income go up and down depending upon where they are competitively and insurance companies coming in and out. So it's great to have the full product portfolio of a 5-year, a 10-year, the MIGAs, and now an income product as well as a bonus version. So let's just get to the basics of the product. And as Tim mentioned, you guys can type in some questions when you have them. I want to keep this very short and simple. I know all of you on the line understand how products work, so we're not going to go into crazy details. But I do want to point out some of the different features that we did with this product in order to make it different and, in my opinion, the most competitive income product on the market. So there's a 32% benefit-based bonus that you get on day 1, and there's a 12% simple interest roll-up for 10 years, okay? You have the ability to turn on income within 30 days, so you can do income immediately, which is fairly rare in this business. There's a few other carriers that offer it, but oftentimes you have to wait 1 year of deferral. Ours is income immediately. Annual rider charge. All of these products have rider charges on them. Well, I shouldn't say all of them. Some of them have free income riders. If you want income, I would argue that a free income rider is probably not the way to go. There's obviously a big trade-off when it comes to that. And I think if you look at how we designed this rider charge, it puts us in a position to be competitive across the board. So you'll notice that I think first of its kind, I'm not aware of any others that do it this way, but our pre-activation rider charge is 50 basis points. Post-activation rider charge is 150. So basically what that means, if the client says, I'm interested in this insurance policy, and I think I'm gonna need income in 6 or 7 years, but I'm not 100% sure. For 50 basis points, we can add that insurance policy of that income and allow them the opportunity to make that decision at a later date. What that means is it's not eating away at their accumulation opportunity until they're ready to turn on income. And once we know they're ready to turn on income, that's when the rider charge goes to 150. This is a much better solution for a client who is unsure of how they want to handle this going forward. And we'll show you an example of that here in just a second. Payout factors are listed here as well. Ethan and I just had a conversation about this yesterday, just talking with some advisors and certainly some sales folks at the organizations that we work with. We understand that we have to kind of point these out to you, but ultimately as an advisor, you're calling into Tim or anybody at IAMS and saying, I've got a 63-year-old that's deferring for 4 years, what's the number? So here's the list of the payout factors. Ultimately, it doesn't matter because the end number is what matters, and that's what we're going to show you here in just a second. State approvals, we have California, New York. New York will never be approved, obviously. California, we're hoping for the first part of next year, and then North Carolina will resume sales on January 1st and ready to roll there. So we're in 47 states, very accessible across the board, which is pretty rare in this space with no product variations. Oftentimes with carriers, you'll see that they have 3 different product variations because of certain states and what they allow and don't allow, but ours is the exact same across the board in 47 states, soon to be 49. So obviously really excited about that. We talked about the crediting strategies and rates. The same apply to the income product that are available on the accumulation options. So you can see the S&P 500, the Goldman Sachs 5% volatility target index, as well as the Citi ARIA index that is 100% equities. Again, one of the very few in our space that's all equities without a fixed income component. On the screen now, you'll see the current caps and rates. You'll see that the S&P 500 cap is at 6%, whereas the fixed account is at 3%. Obviously, there's a big trade-off to having guaranteed income, so those rates are different than what you could get on the accumulation side, but incredibly competitive when you compare them across the board to the other products out there that have guaranteed income solutions. So heat maps, I mentioned this earlier, but Market Synergy Group does product development, but we also do a ton of product research. So one thing that we keep at our disposal is where our competition is and how we stack up against that competition. So these are a quick view of our heat maps. This is every single income rider that you have the ability to sell in the space today. You can see that we're 2 in a lot of spaces and 1 in some of those longer deferrals at older ages. What I can tell you is that this heat map looked different 3 weeks ago. Some carriers, as I mentioned earlier, are getting incredibly aggressive to end the year out. Oftentimes those carriers jump in and out. We had a lot of ones across the board a couple of weeks ago, but we're still incredibly competitive. And there's one specific carrier that has jumped us that we'll talk about here in just a second. But we also directly to our competition. So American Equity has been a tremendous player in this game from an income standpoint. As you can see, we were essentially winning across the board when we compare ourselves to the American Equity Income Shield 10, as well as the Athene's Ascent Pro. There's very few cells, and I would argue certainly none that matter that they're beating us. So very competitive against that specific product as well. And the one that made the big change within the last couple of weeks, I hate to give them a commercial, but it was F&G. You know, one of the things that we pride ourselves on here at Market Synergy Group is transparency. So we'll tell you exactly where we can compete and where we're competitive. So you can see there that they're beating us a lot of those early ages and some of the early income solutions. But I think there's a reason why you would choose Aspida over this specific product, and we'll talk about that here in a second. Nationwide has also been an incredibly aggressive player in the income space. They seem to be winning the older ages, longer deferrals against us, but kind of the heart of where income is selected, which in our opinion is basically from 60 to 70, between 0 and 4 to 5 years of deferral. You can see that we're beating them across the board. So I want to talk about the fee structure, and then we'll open it up for questions. As I mentioned earlier, Tim, we'll keep this super short and sweet. I know these guys understand product, and I just wanted to share with them the main features. But as I mentioned earlier, our pre-activation fee of 50 basis points was done by design to allow you and your client to make a decision, in addition to have an accumulation opportunity that you might not see anywhere else. So I've done some simple math here and just showed you the split fee design, the more flexibility if your circumstances for your client changes, and just show you exactly what that would look like. So I've got a 50 basis points fee here versus a 115 fee, and I'll be transparent again, that is the F&G fee that we talked about earlier. I'm comparing apples to apples with a 6% annual S&P cap because that's where we're at. I mentioned earlier, I think it makes more sense for our product, even if we're a few $100s behind F&G, because of where we stand from a competition standpoint on the accumulation opportunity. As mentioned, we are at 6% annual point-to-point cap. I believe they are at 2.5 with a 115 fee. So how does that affect your client? Well, over a 10-year time frame, if we use most recent historical returns for illustration purposes, if you defer for 10 years, in our scenario, you're paying $9,300 in fees while having an accumulation value of $139,000 when we started at 100K. If you pay 115 basis points in fee, you pay 2.5 times as much, almost 2.5 times as much, and your accumulation value is over $14,000 less. So that's a huge difference, and it gives you the flexibility that I think you and your clients look for when talking about next steps in the retirement planning process for your clients. So I think that's important for us to point out. You can't win everywhere in this business. I wish we could, but even if we're top 1 or 2, and we have this big difference from an accumulation standpoint, I feel like we're in an incredibly competitive position. And as mentioned earlier, the process that you go through with a proprietary EAP system that gives you the ability to potentially get paid the next day and have your client's policy issued while they're still in your office is second to none service that you don't see at any of these other carriers. So briefly, I want to touch base on commission and incentive programs that we have going on. The upfront commission is $675 up to age 75, and in the bottom right, you'll see that we have a tiered-based bonus plan for the 10-year FIAs. You can earn an additional 150 basis points paid directly from the carrier. For 2023, that number was $6 million. We're reevaluating, and we'll look at that for 2024, but the plan is to absolutely still have that in there. So as mentioned, up to 8.25 on the 10-year products. The 5-year product actually pays $450 street, and then your bonus opportunity at those 3 different levels are essentially cut in half. So again, we've seen a pretty good mix of 10-year bonus product and 5-year FIA product, and a smaller amount going to the 10-year straight accumulation product, but all incredibly competitive. And this income product will count towards this bonus opportunity for you as the advisor to help you take care of all the costs that are associated with running your business. In addition to that, Tim mentioned that they have a trip coming up. Aspida also does a trip. This qualification period is almost coming to an end as of December 31st. But just to share with you, what it looks like from their standpoint when they want to reward those that are loyal to them with their incredibly competitive product. Their trip for this year's production was to Maui, the 4 Seasons. That'll take place at the end of May. I would argue there's still time to qualify. They are taking their top 25 with a minimum of $5 million in production. I can tell you now, for those of you that think you can do some great business by the end of the year, that would be amazing. I think number 25 is at about $6.5 million, so that's what it would take. Expect us to announce a trip for 2023 production in the next month or so. But as you can see, they do it first class. They're really excited about getting into the space and looking for an opportunity to get to know each and every one of you as an advisor and provide a great product solution for your clients. So Tim mentioned to you earlier, man, we can get through this income really quick. I wanted to save a little bit of time for questions. So that's all we have on the income. The other thing that I would add, Tim is very versed with this product, and him and Ethan have a great relationship. If you guys have any additional questions, you can always reach out to us. Be happy to run an illustration for you, talk you through the fee structure, talk to you about the caps, any of those things. That's what we're here for. And we have a great relationship with our friends up in Omaha at IAMS, and would be happy to do any of that. So with that, I'm going to shut up, Tim, and see if we have any questions that have come in, and we'll answer those.
Yep, we do have a couple questions, and I also want to launch a second poll here. That poll is, would you like more information about any of Aspida's product lines on that commission special? So I've got that launching here. And then, well, the questions here, the first one was, can you email me the rates for an agent brochure? So you'll definitely get that. Everybody on this webinar will get that. The next question I have here is, does Aspida offer a flow annuity?
A what?
A flow annuity. I was kind of,
I guess
maybe you know.
I guess they're asking if it's flexible premium, and the answer to that is no. Like income, yeah, it is single premium. I'm not familiar with the flow annuity. If they're referencing flexible premium, they do not offer flexible premium. It is single premium.
Gotcha.
Unless there's a different
Thank you.
term that I'm not aware of.
So the next question is does Aspida's FIAs require a securities license?
Of course not.
And that answer is no. You do not need to have a securities license to sell these products. On the rider fee, yeah, so it says on the rider fee, what is the cost per thousand on the 50 basis or 1.5 option? Bob, I think probably the best thing to do we can get an illustration ran for you.
Yeah, and let me
into that deeply.
Be clear that the 50 basis points is based off of the income account value, and will be deducted at the end of the year based on what the current income account value is. So if we start with 100,000, for easy math, it's $500 annually. If there's $100,000 in the income base, as it grows by 12%, the fee would grow by 12%, 50 basis points on top of that. I don't know what my quick math is, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So it's based on the income account value.
Perfect, thank you. Next question is, can clients turn on income between contract anniversaries?
Of course, yeah. At any time they can turn on income. Where that comes into play, that's a great question. Oftentimes what we talk about is trying to hit a birthday, right? Because at a birthday, age goes up, which means payout factor also goes up. So yes, there are a few. I think that question for the rest of the crew comes because there are a few carriers that require you to turn on income at contract anniversary. That is not the case with us.
Awesome. Next question is, what is the sticking point for California? And is there an ETA on when you think it might be approved?
Well, I can tell you that I think the ETA is probably first quarter of 2024. Sticking point is California, right? They're the hardest state, and they're the hardest state in our entire business to get a product approved. They work at a snail's pace and on their own time, and they've had information for 6 to 8 months, and it's just incredibly hard. As you guys see, as new products come out, California is always the last state to get approved. As a matter of fact, I think Aspida has it approved, but they have to go through one more process that you just don't see in any other states.
Awesome, awesome. Last question, I think, is for me. How can I get illustrations? So just call us at 800-255-5055. You can ask for Tim Watts. I say like the light bulb because we do have 2 Tims and both of our last names start with a W. But you can give us a buzz, or when we send you that webinar email, just respond back with the client information, and we'll get you that illustration. For you, Philip, I will give you a call right after this webinar, and I'll get those illustrations going there for you. Jared, Ethan, appreciate you guys hopping on. That was all the questions that we had from the group. Thank you for all of those questions and all of the participation on the polls. Really appreciate it. Jared, any last comments or anything you wanted to add there at the end?
No, I think, we have an incredible solution right now, and hopefully you guys will give us the opportunity to earn some of your business. I know in this space there you have a lot of options and a lot of a lot of different carriers that you can choose from. I think if you give us a chance, you'll see how efficient things work and how competitive the product is. So we look forward to the opportunity to earning that business.
Awesome. Well, Ethan, Jared, thank you for hopping on here. Really appreciate it. Everybody, thank you for joining. Have a great day. Bye now.
Thank you, guys.